Hey guys, it's Jessica and welcome back to the Sugar Crystal Kitchen. Today I'm going to be showing you guys these not only delicious but adorable latte art cookies. They are so cute and they make the perfect little gift, so let's get right into the recipe. So to begin, we're going to make our sugar cookie dough, and in a stand mixer with a paddle attachment, just cream together 1 stick of softened butter and 3/4 of a cup of granulated sugar. Don't forget to scrape everything down once in a while to make sure that everything gets well incorporated, and at this point you can crack in your 1 egg and incorporate in a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Now in a separate bowl, combine together your dry ingredients, which will just be 1½ cups of all-purpose flour, a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder, a pinch of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar to make the sugar cookies more soft. Now at this point you can pour in your dry ingredient mixture into the butter mix, and on low speed you want to incorporate the two together just until it starts kind of coming together. You don't want to overmix it because you don't want to get a tough dry cookie. So as you can see, the dough right now is kind of soft, so we can't really roll it out, so wrap it in some plastic wrap, and we're just going to place this into the fridge for an hour to let it chill before we get to rolling out cookies. Now that our dough has finished chilling, we can begin rolling it out. So unwrap the dough from the plastic wrap and take some extra flour, and make sure you flour all your surfaces, the cookie dough and the rolling pin, to make sure that nothing sticks when you roll it out. Now with a little bit of elbow grease, since the dough is going to be a little hard when it comes out of the fridge, roll the dough until it reaches about a 1/4 inch thickness. Now at this point we can begin cutting out our cookies, so grab a round cookie cutter or any round object, like I am using a glass here. Cut out as many cookies as possible from your cookie dough. After cutting out your cookies, you're going to have scraps, but you can always re-roll that and cut out some more. So now I'm just transferring the cookie rounds onto a parchment lined baking sheet before baking them off at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 8 to 10 minutes. Once your cookies have finished baking, set them aside and let them cool off completely while we work on the royal icing. So for the icing, you're going to need some powdered sugar, and I just sift together 1½ cups of powdered sugar into my stand mixer, and you have to sift it to make sure that you get rid of any of those sugar lumps that are in there. For this recipe, you're also going to need 1 egg white, and of course if you're worried about using raw egg whites, you can always buy the pasteurized ones at the supermarket, or you can find a recipe that uses meringue powder online. We're going to whip this mixture at high speed until it becomes opaque and glossy, and we're looking for what's called a 5-second consistency, where you drip the icing back into the bowl and it takes about 5 seconds to settle back down, and this is the perfect consistency for flooding our cookies. So here I've just separated the icing into 3 different portions. One I left plain white, and I already placed that in a Ziploc bag fitted with a small round tip. For the other ones, I am dyeing one a light tannish brown with some cocoa and yellow food coloring. The other one I dyed a dark brown with more cocoa and a bit of water to thin it out. So for the first cookie design, we're going to flood our cookies with that light brown icing, go around the edge of the cookie and fill that entire ring with icing, and go back in with a toothpick to smooth everything out. This is what they call the flooding technique. Now after we've gotten our brown icing nice and smooth, we're going to try to make the basic leaf latte art design. So grab your white icing and make consecutively larger heart-like shapes on the icing, 4 of them, and then take your toothpick and drag it through the center to connect them all. We're also going to flare the edges of each heart to make it look more like latte art. For our second cookie design, we're going to flood our cookie with some tan icing again, and taking our white icing, I'm just going to draw little hearts all around the cookie, and what we're going to do after this is we're going to take a toothpick and drag it through all the hearts to connect them. Now for our last cookie design, take the dark cocoa icing, flood the cookie and draw rings with the white icing inside of it. And we're going to take the toothpick and drag it to the outer edges of the cookie. And after that, we're going to go in between the lines going towards the outside and drag the icing back towards the center. And that is it for how to make these cute latte art cookies. These were so much fun to make and they turned out amazing. Of course, you don't have to stick with latte art. You can make whatever you want with royal icing and dye the colors whatever color you would like. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's video. Don't forget to leave me a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys!